Rob. What's up? It's Jared from the #Blackout Podcast. And yeah, first of all, the Hooks, Rubs, and Spices family wanted me to pass along a note for you to tell you thank you very much for posting all those pictures. They're definitely going to be reposting some of those onto their Instagram page. So yeah, thank you from them. Food looks great. Keep on doing what you're doing there and rubbing that Hooks, Rubs, and Spices all over your meats and veggie sticks. And then, listening to this episode with Black Rambo, Troubleman himself. Very cool episode, very interesting to hear from his perspective, his experience in the Marines, as well as how his whole gun enthusiasm sort of came about, or didn't come about, however you would call it. And yeah, man, it's funny, obviously, he wants to be a rapper, or he is a rapper, I guess, and he has all these opportunities to work with these big name artists, but he's more of a homebody, it sounds like. He could like go get his show in and then be done and go home and chill. Most people in these situations, they're trying to brown nose as much as they can to get a deal somewhere. And yeah, he's like, if it happens, it happens. So I think that's pretty dope. Next thing is, congrats to Hoppy on the movie. I know I'm sending that message to him through your voicemail, but hey, whatever. I only got 2 minutes to talk, so don't get crazy. Don't get crazy because I got 2 minutes. Anyway, yeah, man. Hope all is well out there. Shout out.
Here we go. You are now listening to Random Ramblings with Rob. Yay! Yeah!
This is the anthem, you're ready for some random shit from Rob. Now everybody stand up and lift your arms. Put your hands in the sky like you're pinching stars. Go piss on Mars! What? It's so random, it's all gravy. The podcast is Rob, yeah, go crazy. Yup.
And all kind of shit like that.
That's what Rob says when he runs off track. Fun fact, tuck that in your brain. Fuck that, nutsacks, we act insane. In the fast lane, still smooth like butter. Rob, dude, you one cool ass brother.
Motherfucker.
You might hear that about every other word, but who's keeping count? The ramblings get so random, what's happening? I'm babbling so much you can't handle me. Chattering teeth sound like a battle axe bashing the beat. Don't laugh when I speak, cause really, we're just some idiots. I ain't talking about a little bit, I'm talking fully illiterate. Like little kids trapped in a grown man's body, acting a fool like Lindsay Lohan. Party like it's a party of life, we party all night. Blackout, that's how we party it right. Hit the Walmart cause we bored as shit. Instagram and upload the vid. look at Rob hanging out in the Walmart for no reason, just Instagramming. He got his phone out, walking around looking at himself like, hey, look at me, I'm walking through Walmart. It's so random, Rob. It's so random, but that's what we love. Random ramblings with Rob. Random ramblings.
Motherfucking,
random
freaking
ramblings.
motherfucking,
Random
freaking
ramblings. Random ramblings. Random ramblings. Blah blah blabbies. Blah blah blabbies. Blah blah blah.
What up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Realms with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week and listening to the show. If you're a new listener, thank you for giving my show a try. And high five your neighbor, whoever referred you to me, or just high five yourself if you just happen to be scrolling through your podcast service of choice and you found me. I would like to know that. I'd like some feedback on where people are finding and listening to my podcast at. Is it on Instagram? Yeah, sure. It could be on Instagram. I put some clips up there. But is it on iTunes, Stitcher, some of those other places, Google Play? Give me some feedback, homies. But in any case, we got a guest this week. Another musical guest. I met him through former guest Anomaly. He's also friends with Hoppy Rogers in some capacity as well, I would imagine. And through Anomaly, I connected with him, and here we are this week with another edition of the Random Rams with Rob podcast. This was another one of those autopilot shows that I rather enjoy. It's to where whenever I get a guest on here, I can just start them off with a quick question and they just run with it from there. Because, you know, I said this before many a times. I mean, this is not just my show. This is your show, the guest show. And people are here to listen to you speak your piece, you know, puns. And my guest did just that. Mr. Katastrophic is his name. And he spoke at length about his drives, his motivation behind his music, just what he looks for, you know, in this marketing plan, and just all around life itself. So, I mean, you're going to hear it, man. It's just like you wouldn't even think that I was on the show. You would just tune in and dude is just going and going. He like the Energizer Bunny 2017 edition. And if you've seen the Energizer Bunny lately in one of those commercials, he is doing some shit. He's doing a lot of stuff. I didn't know bunnies can do such feats of athleticism and agility and so on and so forth. And a couple other things while we're on the topic of musical guest, former guest Sir John Lee, right now as we speak, is having his listening party for his album Heeds with Wolves that's coming out here October 27th next week. Make sure you go to iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, and all the other cool places to where you can download music and go ahead and cop you the album. I'm talking about like put some cash money on it. Help your man get successful. And, you know, I'm not just touting the album because I'm on it, but it's because he produces and makes quality music. And that's something I can get behind. As my guest here today does. He produces and he makes his own music as well. And, he left me 2 tracks to go ahead and put out for your listening enjoyment. And they'll be at the end of the episode to be your bonus content for this week. Cause you know, we got to have some bonus content for whenever I'm feeling like having some music in my life, or when we have a musical guest such as we do today. So let's get into that. We're going to spin a yarn here. We're going to let Mr. Catastrophic, tell you about his inner workings and how he goes about things and he approaches life in the music industry and marketing on this edition of the Random Rams with Rob podcast. Hello.
What's up?
Whole bunch of nothing.
I feel it. I feel it, my man.
Shit. How's you doing, sir?
Man, it's just another day in paradise to me, dog. Every single day I wake up, you go to work, come home, you do a little bit of music. I'm actually a full-time student as well, too, man. I'm a marketing student as well. So I come home and usually do that, and whatever else time is left, man, I just spend it with my fam. You feel me?
Yes, sir. I mean,
yeah, man. Go ahead.
What steered you toward getting a degree in marketing or whatever?
So, man, like a lot of people have told me ever since I got my first job back when I was 16, dude, that I was always like one of the best marketing people that they ever had. And the reason why that is, man, is because I always just related well with people. And what I mean by that is whether it be upselling or just generating conversation with one another, it was just more so about just, I'm always been a people person, you feel me?
Yeah.
And so, and it's just, I don't know, I've always liked the idea of creating logos and gaining consumer awareness and all that stuff. So that's what really derived me in that direction. Now what I'm going for is for digital marketing, which is more of SEOs and CRMs and all that stuff. the traditional marketing, it's kind of getting played out. Today's society is more so converting, I think, to the digital aspect of everything.
Yeah. Because we kind of see that more now with Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, the little pop-up ads on the side, or even when you're scrolling through your feed, they sneak ads and stuff in there.
Right, yeah, and all that is just to gain your attention. That's all it is. And people are just they're paying fuck tons of money out there just to, like, I know that some companies are charging like $1,200 just to run an SEO campaign, and they vary months. Like, some of them range from like 3 months, some of them range to a year. It's just crazy. And whenever you gain that exposure, man, the more income that you have and the more revenue that you're developing off of those ads, the less that those ads cost. It's crazy because a small business, man, they're dishing out multitudes of dollars, and you got big corporations like Ford or UPS or whoever, and they're not, obviously compared to a small business, they're paying a lot more money, but to them, it's pennies compared to what, a brick and mortar home is paying out. It's crazy, but man, the exposure that these small businesses are getting now with creating Facebook dark posts and relying on SEO companies it's just crazy. So, and I know that there is a heavy market for people like that out there. So that's why I really want to get into that.
Now, for the layman such as myself, explain a little bit to everybody what SEOs are. And how they,
SEOs it's called search engine optimization. So basically what people are trying to do is they're trying to gain exposure via Google, Yelp, various search engines all across. So basically, one product that I used in my old business was a company called Nearby Now. And what Nearby Now is when we were driving from one customer's home to another customer's home, we were basically asking people to write surveys about our business, but also we were creating a heat map, so to speak, of showing where in the city that we're working or whatever. And the more reviews that you accumulate and the more that you build up this heat map, if their next door neighbor or somebody within their subdivision was wanting us to come over and provide them a service or whatnot, all they had to do was search our business or search anything that our business does. And we wanted to obviously be at the top of that search engine because the top of that search engine is the person who's getting the most PPCs, which is also called pay-per-clicks. And depending on how many reviews you have and how well that you are marketing yourself, it will eventually the cost will get reduced and all that good stuff. So it's more about you have to gain exposure, you have to get consumer awareness, and basically it all just relies on the people within the business to make the brand look good. And once you make that brand look good, you get referrals, and from there it's just a prosperous journey. You feel me?
Yes. I mean, man, I felt like I'm sitting in a TED Talk or a business class.
Well, let me just say this is I'm still new to it. I mean, and here's the main thing. One of my life mottos is education is a journey. It's not a destination. So, and that goes for anything. That could be, whether it be for my marketing, it could be for music, it could be if you just want to improve as a human being or professional in your industry or whatever. Everybody's going to make mistakes at some point in their life. So it's up to that individual to learn from those mistakes to apply themselves to be a better person or whatever. You dig?
Yeah.
I'm over here, and there's probably people listening on that podcast that they're probably thinking, man, he's a dumbass, or he's, but some people might be like, wow, I learned something interesting today. Cause I mean, I don't know everything. There's other out there that know more than I do, and I might know more than some others, but that's, as long as there's some kind of unity with trying to educate oneself and take the initiative to learn, man, we probably would, the world would definitely be a lot more peaceful, in my honest opinion.
Word. Now, shit. I thought we was going to be talking about something totally different. That's why this is the Random Rambles with Rob.
Man, I like the ramble, dude. And I don't know, like, and that kind of builds up into this album that I've been dropping. It's called Speaking My Piece. So, for everybody out there listening, so what this album, basically, the direction I'm trying to go with this is basically my life story. Yeah. So, here's the thing is if you are living life in a passive format, you're not going to be speaking your piece, because all you're going to be doing is you're just going to be listening to everybody criticizing you, telling you what you need to do, what all this other shit. And you don't need to do all that. Whatever you want to do, you just need to put your mind to it, and you just need to run with it, you know? So what I'm trying to present in this album, it's more coming off in an aggressive manner, but also trying to be assertive at the same time. Now, what I mean by aggressive is it all derives from my passive format that I was living in the past. So what this means is that there has been a lot of times where I've just kind of bit my tongue, just kind of let people just kind of direct me where they thought I needed to go. Well, you know, growing up and seeing all the bullshit that I've seen, you know, obviously there comes a breaking point where you get tired of it. So the aggressive format is more about me just being pissed off and more just about expressing my anger through a track. But eventually as the album kind of plays out, I kind of calm down in the middle of that album, and I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more assertive, and inspirational, I guess you could say, to people trying to listen to this album. That's just what it is. It's more about me just venting, and then once that album's done, then I'm just going to close my mouth and just let it go from there. You dig?
Yeah, I got you.
So and Chris can tell you, Anomaly can tell you, dude, that when it comes to this work ethic, and I'm not trying to doubt anybody when it comes to their work ethic, because everybody's got a different work ethic, but he can tell you that I'm probably one of the most, I guess, grinding people out there, because think about it. You know, you work full time to support your family. Mm-hmm. You come home, you're a full time student. Mm-hmm. Then you got this music grind on the side that you're trying to do too. So, I mean, man, it's like, I've always got my hands tied with something. So it's like, I always tell myself I need a damn vacation, but I can't ever find the damn time for it.
And then your vacation turns into work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Vacation turns into a damn business trip, it seems like.
Yeah. No, you mentioned Anomaly. I mean, that's how kind of we hooked up to do this interview and everything. Oh, how far back does that relationship go?
Me and Anomaly have known each other, I'd say, close to 5 years. So I met Anomaly at a show called, or it was at a venue called Max Hideaway. So before I knew this cat, I was in a group called Los Angeles with another guy. His name is Homicide. Shout out to Homicide if you're listening to this. So me and Homicide, we met through, we were a part of another entertainment group called Flatline, and that's kind of died off and everything. And me and him kind of just branched off and decided to do our own thing. Well, this was our first show together as a group. So, and I've had my own solo shows in the past and everything, and I think that he's performed in the past on his own and whatnot. But, you know, this was our first time kind of coming together as a group. So we go to this show, and I remember seeing Anomaly's name on the card. And I remember Homicide was like, "Hey man, you should listen to this guy named Anomaly." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we just kind of sat there and listened to one or two songs. He has this mixtape called Enter the Hatrix that we were listening to. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm feeling it and whatnot. You know, I was like, I guess we'll just meet dude when we get there. And so we get to the show, and it's the wrong venue, dude. And what I mean by like it's the wrong venue is you got your club settings, you know, you got that environment where you got all the various lights flowing around, and you got the smoke, and you got the loud hip hop music playing in the background. DJ's doing his thing. People are getting drunk, smoking weed in the outside or whatever. Well, we go in, and this place is presenting itself as if it was like a biker bar. So it's crazy because we walk in, and they got, the stage is probably like 1 foot off the ground. So it's like, okay, so, you know, it's more like a band setup and everything. Well, there's nobody there that fits the category hip hop. Everybody's got like bandanas on, and got like these biker vests with the big long chains. See a couple of motorcycles parked out front. It was crazy. And like, I remember, looking honest, I'm like, man, are we at the right fucking place? Like, this is not coming off as the right place. And, so when we walk in, we just kind of sit back, and we're just kind of chilling, just kind of getting a feel for the environment. We had this dude named Sherlock, rest in peace to Sherlock. He came up to us and said, yeah, you know, y'all at the right place. And then, oh God, and not only is going to kill me because I can't remember the name of this girl, but I know him and his chick has been tight for a long time. But she comes up, and I guess she was the one who basically organized the show, and she's the one who introduced me to Anomaly. So Anomaly is, you know, sitting there talking to us here and there and whatnot. We're just kind of vibing off of each other. Well, initially to him, the plan is that he wanted to go on first because he was basically wanting to show us, you know, how to do, you know, the whole stage set and everything too. Well, what ended up happening is, me and Homicide, Lost Angels, we were the first ones to go up on the stage. So we were basically the opening act for every artist out there. And so, I think we had like a 15-minute set, but I think we ended up doing it for like 20 or 25. I can't remember, but they were cool with it. But anyway, we're doing our thing on stage and all that other shit and everything. And man, the show was dead. And because, you know, like I said, we're in the wrong environment. There's a bunch of bikers and everything. You probably got like 3 to 5 people standing there on the dance floor. That's just kind of like bopping their head, you know, vibing off of us and whatnot. But they were playing a University of Louisville basketball game behind us on the fucking flat screen. It was on a projector screen actually. And there were people walking in and out behind of us. So, I mean, you know, we were pissed. Like, we're sitting there, like, we were thinking it's going to be this, you know, little cool show, like a little bar show. But man, it was a joke is what it was. And so, after we got done, Anomaly went on after us, and he brought some energy and was doing his thing and all that other shit. Well, basically my wife, she was my fiance at the time. She could not get in because she was actually underage. So what we ended up doing is just leaving early. And, I can't remember if I told him bye or not, but we just basically just left. And, then me and Homicide kind of had a falling out with Lost Angels. And I was kind of back on my solo dolo train, you know, thinking, damn, I'm just going to have to do this all by myself. Well, then, Anomaly messages me on Facebook, and he said, hey man, he's like, when we ever going to do that collab that we talked about doing, at the show at Max Hideaway? And I was like, yeah, man, you know, we can drop whatever, you know, and do whatever. I was like, just name a date and a time and a song and a topic or whatever, dude. And I'm like, we'll just do the damn thing. And from there on out, me and him just kind of had, you know, various conversations. We would see each other at other shows, and he would watch me perform. And, I think I watched him perform maybe once or twice afterwards and whatnot. But the more that me and him talked, the better that, the closer that me and him got. Mm-hmm. And eventually, we were just going to go ahead and have a group called Catastrophic Anomaly a couple of years back. Well, then we had another member, his name, is Rad, and Rad had his own studio, and Anomaly introduced me to Rad, and, with me, Anomaly, and Rad all intertwined, we were known as Infamous Society. Mm-hmm. So we started recording at Rad's, and we were dropping, and the plan was that it was just supposed to be Catastrophic Anomaly. Well, for somehow, some way, shape, or reason, fucking Rad's featured on every single one of our songs. It just kind of happened. So, and eventually we were just kind of sitting over at Rad's crib, and we were like, man, we just all three just need to become a group, since, you know, you're doing your thing and he's doing his thing and Katastrophic's doing his thing. So that's where Infamous Society was born. And, all three of us are really cool and whatnot. And, I'm actually producing both of their solo albums. I know Anomaly talked to you about, Revelations.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Rad, I'm working on his project. That's called The Awakening. And then after Awakening drops, then it will be Speaking My Peace. So it goes, Revelations, The Awakening, and then Speaking My Peace. And then once Speaking My Peace is done, we are working on, Infamous 3. And I don't know if Anomaly told you this or not, but there was a point in time where I ended up kind of venturing off and doing my own thing. I ended up having a kid, and my wife ended up having a kid. There ain't no way in hell that I could go through that shit. But and so I felt that there was a bigger need for me to be in her life a little bit more, and I kind of had to set music off to the side because I felt as if that with a kid being born, this was new to me. I had no idea how to react to it. And so, they basically just said, hey, we're going to do our own thing for right now, but when you're ready to come back, let us know. And I was like, all right, cool. And then, several months passed and everything. And then, out of the blue, all three of us just started talking again. And then Infamous basically, was like the rise of the Phoenix. It was reborn, and here we are, and we're still burning strong. You feel me?
Yes, sir. No, I don't think I asked Anomaly this when I had him on, but as far as you being an artist and producer, which one do you kind of take to the most? And if whenever you're in your artist mode, what goes into the prep work to putting your music together?
So, well, here lately, it's been more on producer mode than anything because, like I said, I'm developing both of their projects. But every now and again, I have to switch up my routine, and because every now and again, when you're looking at decibel meters and you're looking at compression tables and equalization tables and everything, you get kind of sick of it. So, and luckily, I have two guys in my crew that is very understanding of as far as like being patient and knowing that I kind of have to vent myself here and there, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to be, having that writer's block. And artists will tell you that writer's block is probably like one of the worst feelings that they could ever have. Because nothing kills me more than when I'm sitting in my studio and I've got this beat and I've been listening to this beat all day at work, or I've been, just kind of vibing out in my free time or just cruising in my truck or whatever. I go to sit there and I pick up the pencil and then bam, it's just nothing but a blank piece of paper. And I'm sitting there looking at it for 15 minutes. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do with it. It's crazy. But when it gets to that point, then I kind of start, getting to the producing and everything too. And honestly, I've been having a little bit more fun this time around producing just because, these two projects are the first full projects that I've taken on. And, before I committed to doing these albums, I spent a multitude of hours and days and weekends and nights, just researching, because if you just go in there and you just press record and you just let it be like that, I mean, it's going to be a shitty track. And here's the thing is, as a producer, any producer will tell you this. If you have a shitty recording, you're going to have a shitty mixing. If you have a shitty mixing, you're going to have a shitty mastering. And if you have shitty mastering, well, guess what? You got yourself a shitty track. So, in order, you have to really sit back and analyze the big picture of how the song's going to play out. So, and basically what I ended up doing is, I just, and I don't want to say that they had doubt in my skills or anything, but they wanted to kind of see how I engineered, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So what I told them is I said, hey, listen, you all come over, you all drop one track each. You let me work my magic. You tell me what you think, and then we'll go from there. Because if they did not appreciate, the work that I was going to put in, and they had a lot of criticism about it, either there was going to be two outcomes of this. Is either one, I'm going to wait to record and I'm going to get better at what I'm doing, or we're just going to go with another engineer. Well, evidently, they were both blown away, and I think Anomaly was completely blown away because like I said, I don't think that the doubt was there, but I think I exceeded his expectations a lot more than what he was predicting out of me, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And like you heard having nightmares.
Yes.
So yeah, so having nightmares, you know, he's the one who is the artist, and he's the one who has these visions about having nightmares and all those lyrics that he put into it. But the great thing about engineering is it's kind of like getting a tattoo. So you have the customer who goes in with an idea, and then they're like, I want, you know, like a lion on my chest, and I want him to have all these different features on there. And then what the artist suggests is, okay, well, we can do this, but how about if we take some of this out and then maybe add this in? And then, depending on the customer, if they're cool with that, then you let the artist do their work, and then you're either happy or you're pissed off. So that's how it is you have an artist come in and they convey their ideas to the engineer. And the engineer listens to what their vision is, their story, and everything like that, but they add their own little Oliver twist to it. So, and what I did is, I just took various samples of some things, and I really wanted the track to sound extremely dark, and you definitely can tell it's dark because a lot of those voices in there are transposed. And what I mean by transpose is, an example is where he's like, maybe you ain't know how you're dealing with a basket case, you know, because like his voice is real low and it makes him sound like he's possessed. Mm-hmm. So, and I want people to feel that whenever he's delivering that message in that song. So it's just basically, man, all it is just, you got to listen to what they're saying. Basically, just add your own little thing to it, and then let them hear the final product, and then you can add tweaks in here and there and everything too. But for the most part, Anomaly is just like, do your damn thing, man. He's like, I don't even care. He's like, I have put all my trust in you. Now, Rad, I love Rad to death. He's my homie and everything. He's a little bit more picky. He'll say, and I know the reason why he's like that is because he used to engineer as well too. So he hears certain things that I don't hear, and he wants to say, let's add this in and see how that sounds. And if that doesn't sound good, then we'll do it your way, and et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, we collaborate really well together, and he drops some fire music too, man. I'll have to let him get on here and talk with you, dude, because he's got some bangers. Like he's more of a new school rapper than anything. He's just got those real hard club raps and everything too, and his delivery is just on point with where he's trying to go with this CD. So, but it's fun in both aspects. It's definitely fun to produce, but I was more so an artist than I was a producer. I really enjoyed the artist aspect of it, but producing is new, so I think that I enjoy them fairly equal as of right now.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. You kind of remind me of Kevin Smith. I ask you a simple question, and then like 20 minutes later, I get the answer. I know, and there's nothing against it. I like that a lot. I mean, you're the type of guest, and I've said it a couple of times that, you know, this is your show. I'm just here listening to you speak your piece.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much, my man.
Yeah. As far as your catalog goes, what album would this be? Would this be your first album?
So yeah. So basically, this is my first solo album. So I have done. I've done mixtapes in the past, and I've done, and like I said, I've been involved in various groups in the past as well too, and I've always kind of collaborated with them. So, like I said, there's the Infamous Society EP that's on Dat Piff. All you got to do is just type in Infamous Society, and you'll see our brand on there, and you'll hear tracks with me, Anomaly, and Rad. That was back in 2014. And here's the thing is, Anomaly will tell you this too, and this is one of my worst flaws, is that I'm a perfectionist. And what I mean by that is when I drop a song, I'm absolutely in love with it. And then I'll, like 6 months or a year passes by and I'll listen to it. I'm like, damn, that sucks. And yeah, it's crazy. And like, so, and I've gone from group to group, back to independent, back to group and group. And I'll tell you this, man, I've got so many songs on my computer, but unfortunately it's just more so about, I don't know if that's going to be my best to let the public hear. Now, the ones that I have sent to you, oh yeah, those two, I'm definitely wanting people to hear those, because those are two of my favorite songs that I've ever done. And you know, like the infamous Society mixtape that we did a few years back. I mean, there's some good songs on there too. There's this one song I'm not too big of a fan of that Anomaly loves. It's called Devil's Brew, and it's all that sick and demented, twisted shit that he's all in on, having nightmares and everything too. But he loves my verse in it because I say some pretty wild shit in there. And so, I mean, you'll have to check that out. Like I said, it's on DatPiff. All you got to do is just type in Infamous Society, and you'll see an I that's intertwined with an S, and Infamous Society on there. And I mean, it's free. So anybody want to check that out, go ahead and do so. And you know, once I get these two projects done and then Speaking My Piece will be on the way. And I guarantee you it will not disappoint, because I've been working on the CD. This is going to sound crazy, but I've actually been at the CD now for probably a little under a year.
Okay.
And I'm still not done. And it's just because, like I said, I want to make sure that I put everything that I got into the CD. But with that being said, I'm being extremely generous, you know, to my homies and everything. And I'm, you know, producing their CDs for them as well too.
Cool. Now, with the group aspect or whatever, you was touching on it a little bit. You have your own flavor, and you know, you were saying Rad is a little more picky, and how it is whenever all three of y'all come together to do your thing or whatever. I mean, what's that studio atmosphere like?
There's a bunch of bitching and whining, honestly, between the both of them. No, I'm playing, man. There's so everybody's got their own ideas. Anomaly is he's got his thing, and I've got my thing, and then, you know, Rad's got his thing as well too. The atmosphere, whenever they come over here, we are all strictly business. We come in, everybody's got one or two tracks that they want to drop. They drop their tracks. I don't even engineer them while they're here. I just have them record their vocals. When they leave, that's when I'll do all the engineering. But like I said, because, you know, I'm on a very strict time constraint, you know, like I like to make schedules for myself. So like if I book it off, you know, 3 or 4 hours for them to be over here, come over here and drop your music. And then when you're done, then you got time for shits and giggles and make more music. So, I mean, when they first come over here, they're all strictly business. But as the session kind of progresses along, that's when, you know, we start kind of joking around and saying some dumb shit and kind of taking a break. And you know, and I love it when Anomaly comes over here and he talks to me, because Anomaly's always got a story to tell. He's got, and like, he's got stories to tell about, you know, various musicians. He's got stories to tell about his past and things like that. And this is going to sound crazy too, but me and him have gotten into some pretty serious religious, topics as well too. Yeah. He'll convey his feelings to me, and I'll convey my feelings, and we both appreciate each other's, you know, thoughts and values and everything about that too. So, you know, just because he believes in one higher power and I believe in another, he's not going to, you know, kick my ass, or I'm not going to kick his ass. You know, we're just going to sit there and just kind of joke about the other one's religion, and then we just move on and do our own thing. So it's strictly business at first, and then, you know, once we knock out a track or two and we got a little bit of time to fool around, and, you know, we'll just kind of sit there and shoot shit with each other. So it's friendly, but it's more business.
Cool. Whenever y'all together and everything, has it ever been a time to where you had to scrap a project because all three of you can come together on a certain concept or whatever?
Well, that's one thing that we usually do in our sessions is we usually brainstorm a lot. So, they both Anomaly and Rad think that I'm a hook genius, because what they'll do is they'll be like, man, we need some beats, or, do this and do that. And, he'll, Anomaly will be like, hey, what do you think about this? And Rad will be like, what do you think about that? And honestly, like, and here comes my pickiness. If I hear a beat, I will dissect that beat, and if there's one thing that just throws me off, I'm just automatically out. Like, Rad, like I said, he's more of a new school techno kind of rapper and everything too. But like I said, he's got some really nasty club bangers, and he drops some real emotional, inspirational shit here and there. And Anomaly's got the dark horrorcore style in him too. And that's not really my style either. But every now and again, I'll come out of my comfort zone and I will drop something like that just for their sake. Cause I mean, it's not only, what's the best way I want to say this is, it's helping me get better as an artist, because like I said, if you're just staying in your comfort zone and you're just doing what then, you're just basically just going to be throwing a fastball the entire time and everybody's going to be predicting it. But once you come out of that element and you change things up, then, people are going to be caught off guard, and honestly, they're either going to like it or they're going to hate it. So, and like I said, it really just depends for me. But for the most part, we collaborate really well together. There's times where, somebody will already have a hook to something and be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling that. Like on that infamous, Society album that we had, I didn't pick every beat on that CD. That was all three of us who picked those beats. Rad picked some, I picked some, Anomaly picked some. And actually I made some of those beats that are on that CD as well too. So, I mean, and that goes with my, the producing and engineering and all that stuff but for this CD that I'm working on, I have not produced any of these beats. I have just strictly got them just for the sake of me doing something different. Because when I make a beat, I'm kind of like DJ Mustard. So, and what I mean by that is, how DJ Mustard always has those same repetitive beats, and it sounds like a DJ Mustard beat. Whenever I was making beats a lot, it was kind of like that. So, and this is going hand in hand with me doing my research and trying to better myself as an artist and as well as a producer and everything.
Okay. Cool beans. Now, what got you hooked? I mean, we bounced around all over the place, but what made you say, God damn it, I'm going to be an artist. God damn it, I'm going to be a producer.
Yeah. I wrote my first song back in the 7th grade. And as far as my inspiration goes, Eminem was really hot whenever I was a kid. That's like when Dr. Dre first noticed him and everything. And he was just, the thing that really caught me about him, and it wasn't his skin color. It was more about his originality, I guess. Mm-hmm. Cause what rapper do you hear say, hi kids, and when you see stab 9 inch nails through each one of my eyelids, it's different. And that's what I loved about Eminem. And his wordplay just was like, wow, it's like, you don't hear rappers just, fitting all these different rhymes into one line. And it was just really catchy. And, and I listened to, a little bit of Tupac and Biggie and NWA and P. Diddy and all the mainstream artists that were really hot back then. So, and that's it was more about like the late 90s is when I started kind of getting into like listening to it, but it was more so the early 2000s is when I started writing a lot more. And the reason why I guess I've pursued writing as much as I have is because, when I was growing up, I caught a lot of bullshit for it. And, and I'm sure that everybody has their fair share of, bullying and, and fucked up situations in their life. But I felt that the only way that I could really vent from it was for writing. And I didn't like writing English assignments or solving algebra or anything like that. It was more so about just digging deep into my soul and just writing what came to my mind. And I didn't even care if it was rhymes or not. It was just more so like poetry. And I just wanted to get this off of my chest, so to speak. And so, growing up in high school and everything too, like I had this persona and everything too that, I was a rapper and everything like that. And people, they just take one look at you like, are you fucking serious? Like, this kid ain't no rapper. He's a wankster, he's this wigger who just wants to be black and everything. And it was, to me, it was fucked up. I mean, and any other, person who, and that doesn't matter if you're black, white, red, blue, I don't care. I mean, when people pick you apart like that and they don't even know the real you inside, it's, it's heartbreaking to people. And these kids are out here, hurting themselves and shooting themselves and all this other stuff because all these people just are just judging a picture without analyzing it and appreciating it. And that's why I just kept doing what I was doing. And I got just sick and tired of people telling me, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And I didn't care if I got booed off stage, if people made fun of my t-shirts or my hats or my jewelry or whatever. It was, and the more that they kept doing it, the more that I kept writing, and the more that they said, you can't rap and you're never going to be this. And it wasn't even like, you're never going to be a college graduate or you're never going to have a decent paying job or anything like that. I mean, hate fuels me. Like, I mean, I'm just a propane tank that's already ignited, and all you're doing is just fueling more fire into me, and all I'm going to do is just blow the city by storm. So it's what I really want to do with my music is when I write, I want people to relate to what I'm describing, because everybody has a different journey and everybody comes from different backgrounds and different generations and things like that. I mean, everybody has their own story, but what I want to do is I want to inspire people to write their own story, whether it be good or bad or whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, convey your message to the world. Don't be afraid to show who you truly are, and here's the thing, like, I have a song that, is actually going to introduce to it, and I'm not going to give away any, like, massive spoilers or anything, but, if I'm being real with you, then I'm going to tell you that I was not raised in the hood. I came from a rough suburb in Louisville, and Anomaly will tell you that, I'm from Shively, and Shively is, it was nice back in the day, but there's just the multitude of drugs and the gangs that just kept coming into Shively. And I mean, it's like the slums now. It's real run down. And I got out in time before, I was caught in all the midst of that shit. But that's part of the reason why we moved out, was because we had a gang shooting out in front of our house, and there was there was meth dealers all around on our strip. So, we had to get out of that shit. And, it's just, I don't know, man. I know I'm just rambling on and everything, and I know
that's what this show is for.
But
that's what the show is for.
But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just want people to not be scared to be real with themselves. And I know I lost topic, but I'm getting back to it. I went to a private school, and so. And luckily I had the blessing for that, because, my parents, they worked their ass off, to put me through that shit. And that's the thing, like, you will never hear me in any of my songs talk about, I'm a gang banger and I fucked your bitch, or, like, I'm selling dope or whatever. I mean, that's not who I am. I didn't come from that. So if I'm talking about that in my life, then I'm just, being a freaking hypocrite, because I don't want to be like the other rappers out there. I ain't afraid to say that that I went to a private school, that both my parents were in my life, and they raised me with some, ethics and principles and everything like that. It's, like I said, I mean, everybody's got a different story, and everybody needs to tell the real message. And I just want to inspire people to try to become a better person as you live day by day. And I'm a sinner, and I know that I am not perfect, but what I'll try to do is I'll just try to find one way that I can make myself better. So that way, when I die and I leave my legacy, I'm hoping people will remember me for a positive reason than per se, a negative lifestyle, I guess.
And man, that's what more could you ask for, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I hope that if you're listening to this and, if you've made some fucked up decisions in your past, start a new leaf tomorrow, turn over a new leaf and start over fresh. I mean, you only have one life, and you really need to live it to your full potential and just, be nice to your fellow neighbor and just, help them out when they need help, cause, I've helped Anomaly out, and Anomaly has helped me out. So, I mean, we got that brotherhood within us. So, and Anomaly doesn't judge me, and I don't judge him or anything like that. And we don't judge Rad, and Rad doesn't judge us, if the world, and that's why I guess we're called Infamous Society, is because we've kind of had our own fucked up backgrounds and our own, bad decisions and all these other things. And people, I guess, view us for the wrong reasons, I guess, because they don't know who we truly are.
Yeah.
But the deeper that you listen to the music, and the more real aspects that you're going to see about us. Like I said, I got a couple of club bangers on my CD, but it's what you'll hear out of me is going to be everything real. And the same thing with Anomaly. He had that Have a Nightmare song. I mean, he talks to me all the time about how he has all these different nightmares every damn day about some messed up stuff and everything too. So, I mean, he's being real to his audience and saying, this is who I truly am. And he's got that past where he's come behind. And I mean, and he's bettered himself as an individual from what he's told me about himself, so today's the day, do your thing and be proud of what you're doing, and don't be scared to convey your message, I guess.
All right. Now, 2 tracks you sent me, I'm gonna put them at the end of the episode. There's gonna be bonus content for this episode. Breakthrough and Streetlights. Are these 2 songs gonna be on your album?
Yes, sir. So, and I'll just kind of break down into detail about these songs as well. So, Breakthrough is more of an inspirational song. It comes more so from the aggressive mindset that I have. It features my wife. She's singing on the hook with me, Mrs. K. I sat there and I was listening to the song, and I just started getting real angry. And what I did is I just wrote it all down. And the whole moral of the song is fuck what the world thinks about me. No matter what you say about me, I'm always going to break through, and like I said, I did that. People said I'd never have a decent paying job, or I would never graduate from school and wouldn't have anything. Well, guess what, bitch? Now I've got a fucking nice career, and I've got a college degree, and I got a beautiful wife with 2 little beautiful girls, and I got a music career. So what the fuck you think about me now?
Yeah,
that's what I got to say to my haters. So, and that's what I got to say. I mean, cause, if all they want to do is just run their fucking mouth and say some shit, well, guess what? You know what? You've just motivated me. Now I've got this. Keep talking shit. So that way I can get better at what I'm doing. So that way you can just sit on the sidelines and keep crying like a little baby and wipe up, you be a damn towel boy and wipe Gatorade off the floor while I'm out there, balling. You feel me?
I like that. Oh man. All right.
Yeah. And Streetlights, Streetlights is more of it's more of an inspirational message. It just kind of talks about who I am. And the main thing is the whole moral of the song is if I never get famous doing my music, because if I get famous, great. If I don't get famous, then I'm always going to live a king underneath streetlights. So all that means is that I'm going to keep doing my music. I'm going to keep being proud of what I'm doing. And no matter what you think about me, I will always still be a king and always live like a king as I keep cruising underneath streetlights, walking underneath streetlights every single night. All I'm doing is I'm just working on my business plan, and I'm working on my better motive to be a better individual and be, just keep speaking my piece, I guess.
Yeah. See, it comes around full circle. Speaking your piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Before we go ahead and ride out, go ahead and plug all your things, your websites, your social media, everything.
Yes, sir. So you can catch me on Twitter. It is Katastrophic 502. You can catch me on Facebook at Katastrophic 502. You can catch me on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Mr-Catastrophic. And all the Catastrophics are spelled with a K, by the way. And I'm currently designing my Instagram page. The more that we go from there, the more that I will be plugging them into Twitter. So, before we log off, Rob, I want to appreciate you having me on the show. It's been an honor. I really appreciate you letting me take the time to speak to you about, my story and my messages and everything. I definitely want to give a major shout out to my wife for letting me do this. Shout out to her, shout out to my two little beautiful girls. I want to give a shout out to my homies, Anomaly and Rad. Be on the lookout for Revelations. Be on the lookout for The Awakening. Be on the lookout for Infamous Society Volume 3. And definitely give a shout out to all the Louisville rappers out there, because the Louisville rappers, like Anomaly said, it is a massive competition out here, and everybody is basically like sharks in a feeding frenzy right now. They're all just trying to get it on their own, but they motivate me to be a better artist, and I hope that my music will make them become a better artist. And I'm hoping that we can unify more as we progress. So I want to definitely shout out to them as well too. And definitely shout out to God, to my mom and dad, to everybody who has been there alongside that ride for me. And I also want to give a shout out to my haters too, because if I didn't have my haters, then I would not be the person that I am today.
And that was it. This is your one tabulous show. Wonder tabulous. I'm making up shit. I'm tired, man. Been working hard these past couple of weeks, doing 12-hour shifts back to back to back to back to back. So, I mean, I'm kind of out of it. But nonetheless, that's why you don't have me talking the whole goddamn episode. You have an interesting guest to carry us through the hour or 2 hours or hour and a half or however long this podcast wind up being. It's Sunday now, so I'm going to go ahead and chop this thing up, and I'm going to let you hear it floating across the interwebs and everything. So it's great to have Mr. Katastrophic. I'm trying to get Rad on here. Haven't heard shit back from him. We recorded this podcast a couple weeks ago, and they said they was going to shoot him in my direction. I ain't heard shit. I just found Rad on motherfucking Twitter just about 30 minutes ago. And I followed them. I retweeted some of their stuff. They got some performances on YouTube for their Infamous Society group, which they're going to have some music. They got Anomaly's album coming out. We got the Infamous Society album coming out. We got Mr. Catastrophic album coming out. We got Rad album coming out. This is just a slew of music coming your way from these boys here out of Kentucky and whatnots. So look forward to it, man. Look forward to this music. I forget when Anomaly shit is dropping. Release dates, motherfuckers. Let me know so I can plug the shit. They probably told me already, but damn, I might have forgot. It might be in one of the recordings. I don't know. But hey, man, when I know, you'll know, and I'll be promoting and plugging and jamming that shit all over the place. So look out for Mr. Catastrophic, Anomaly, Rad, and the Infamous Society. Also, man, August, goddamn, I'm a month behind. October 27th, which is next Friday. John Lee album come out, so make sure you cop it. You get to hear my debut. I got a little bit of sway and input and some stuff on the album. So if you're interested, go ahead and cop that thing. And Astros on the way to the Super Bowl. Dog, I am fucking up so bad right now. The Super Bowl. Astros to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're playing with a football bat. Yeah, Astros are going to the World Series. Yay. The only other team outside of Louisiana that I give a pass to. So, congratulations to the Astros. And hope they can win. Playing against the Dodgers. Yeah, man, I'm tired. Let's get the fuck out of here, people. Next week, got a treat for you. If you heard the episode of the hashtag Blackout podcast, to where they had a guy out of India named Sanjay. He submitted some music to their mic check section, and he's a rapper out of India that does English rap, and so it's in his accent or whatever is crazy. But I mean, I had to talk to this dude. I had to know why he chose the path of music. I had to know. So he'll be on the show next week. I got some other guests lined up. I'm working out some recordings with. I'm not going to say any names in case they fall through. That's just something I don't do. I know I only talking about Sanjay and all these other people because I've already done it. This stuff is already recorded. I just got to put it out. So look forward to that. And, shout out to hashtag Blackout Podcast. Shout out to Ice in the Face. They're going through some things right now. And, I wish them the best. Po Boys Podcast. I'm featured on the most recent episode. Shout out to Arlie over there on the Random Chatterings podcast. I'm on episode 69 with the artist formerly known as Tiny Ebony. Now she goes by the name of Melanie Cummins or Melanie Combs. That porn name shit. They gotta put some jism in it, much like their faces and vaginas sometimes. Maybe even the butt. Just finished recording with Ray, Danielle, and Creeves on the Naked Porch podcast. So I don't know when that shit's gonna be out, but look forward to that. And yeah, man, we got some things coming up. I look forward to episode 100. This here is episode 94, so we're a few episodes away. It'll be here before you know it. I have no idea if I'm doing anything special for it. It's just probably going to be business as usual. But hey, if you want to send some voicemails my way or some emails or whatever have you, you can do that at 304 Talk Rob. That's 304-825-5762. And the email address is randomrobcast@outlook.com. Send me anything. If you got some music, if you're an artist, you can send me some music and I'll play it on the show for everybody to listen to. Or I might refer it over to the hashtag Blackout Podcast so they can hit you up on the mic check, give you some constructive criticism and everything. So you can find me on Twitter at It's B-Rob. That's ITSBROB. If you want to talk professional wrestling and other general shenanigans, that's the account you use to do so. Also, the show has a Twitter. You can find it at 3R Show, which I'm working out a new shirt design for that. I know on my T-shirt, goddamn T-shirt, seashells by the seashore. My T's store. I have an old shirt on there that says 3RPC, which, I don't know why. I told you this last time. I put PC. PC stands for podcast. I know podcast is one word and everything, but the only reason I did it like that, like when I had the RRRPC, is because I wanted that unique hashtag. I wanted a hashtag that nobody was using. So that's the reason I did them that way. So yay. Nobody has 3R show but me, except for that punk ass motherfucker on Instagram that has 3R show, and he ain't got no motherfucking post, ain't got shit, and he won't relinquish it. He won't answer my goddamn instant messages. I tried to report him as fraud and spam. They didn't do shit. But I just made some new business cards, so I got to keep my current account name on Instagram until the business cards run out. So yeah. Speaking of Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Just search the Random Rambles with Rob, because if I give you the username, it's going to be long and convoluted, which was a bad idea in hindsight. So just type in Random Rambles with Rob, or search the hashtag Walmart log or the hashtag 3R show. You should find my shit, or you can even use the old hashtag. You can find me on the gram doing gram things. Also, you can go to randomrobcast.com to where you can find out ways to help the show, contribute some funds, or make me or help me generate some funds. And the place to do that is randomrobcast.com. I got merchandise. I got Amazon links. I got you can become a patron through Podbean and everything, just like Brandon McIntyre and Glenn Abbott, who help and they support the show, and I appreciate them very much. Glenn, I'm working on that damn shirt so I can send it to you. So be patient with me. I got some designs I'm kicking around. I'm probably share it with you and B-Mac just to see what you think about them. And yay. I love you guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bonus content.
Just I can't hold my destiny, I always break through.
You know what it is, you know what it is, you know what it is. Dog, I flex for real, even when I'm on those flex for reals. Hustle with the muscle, man, I'm blessed with skills. Rumble in the jungle with the stress or deals. Only getting stronger when they test my will. Keep talking shit and I'll wreck your guild. Nobody knows how the threats instilled. The tension spills to the point where the infection spills. So close your eyes, take a dose of mine. Cocaine flow, bro, will blow your mind. I know it's mine. Overthrow those who oppose a pro that's supposed to shine. So roll your boat up shit's creek, pipsqueak. Catastrophic during my lowest time. Not cold as ice, so roll the dice. No craps, giving up my focus, climb to the pinnacle. After all these years of being ridiculed, throw the deuces up to those imbeciles, making mockery of my miracles. They're the definition of pitiful, but I'm used to this life so typical. The karma traits are unforgivable and unpredictable to these weak ass little individuals.
Why you always hating, trying to deviate me? I just wanna make it to the top. So innovative, through all the constant change, but nothing can restrain me, make me stop. Don't criticize me for everything that I do. Keep pushing on and stick to the plan of making these moves. It's destiny, I always break through. Always break through.
Wanna play a game, you in trouble now. Scrabble with the worst, man, I dumb them down. I'm over their heads when I jump around. King me, bitch, here comes the crown. I run this town, no Game of Thrones. You ain't got a clue what made me bro. A thing called life, don't break the ice. I'm ready for war, stretchy go. Loading up that deuce to connect forward. I'll scatter glory, guts to glory. Checkmate, bitch, no chessboard. Put the dots to fold. Dominoes, reverse your roll. Otelo, numero uno. Hey, this pseudo, guess who, bitch, you gotta go. It's my cranium, operates to the maximum. So concentrate before you risk it all. Playing battleship with a motherfucker known to bomb brigades. No sorrows given, I'm standing tall. No time for that short talk. Come within my space, you pay the price. This shit right here's a forfeit.
Why you always hating, trying to deviate me? I just wanna make it to the top. So innovative, through all the constant change, but nothing can restrain me, make me stop. Don't criticize me for everything that I do. Keep pushing on and stick to the plan of making these moves. Never can hold my destiny, I always break through. Always break through.
I got a question for you know the drill, you bitches screw. David Copperfield, I'm Magic Jack to shine. If you wanna pass the line, you're asinine. Dramatic guys, I'll crack your spine as a means of breakthrough. Bitch ain't afraid to take you to your resting place, cause the stress you make motherfuckers like me bring death to face. I've been raw, fuck shit talk. This right here, you pitfall. Leave a puzzle like a jigsaw.
Why you always hating, trying to deviate me? I just wanna make it to the top. So innovative, through all the constant change, nothing can restrain me, make me stop. The world criticize me for everything that I do. Keep pushing on and stick to the plan of making these moves. Never can hold my destiny, I always break through. Always break through. Why you always hate, trying to deviate me? I just wanna make it to the top. So innovative, through all the constant change, nothing can restrain me, make me stop. Criticize me for everything that I do. Keep pushing on and stick to the plan of making these moves. If you hold my destiny, I'll always break through. Always break through. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. Yeah, that's dope. I'm definitely feeling it. I live a king underneath street lights. 502 stand up. Driving down these roads with a vision in my brain and my headphones on. I don't care what they say. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. Music flowing through my veins like some cocaine. The block with the stage, man, it's my domain. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. I keep the pistol right beside me. This where I'm from, the streets, well do you grind me? Only two ways to describe me. Mindset, J-Town, attitude, sharp. Walk the great stretch, goddamn I'm mesmerizing. To the summit while these dummies thriving to deprive me of everything that I have become. Preaching, sell the bitch shit, never giving a fuck. Hear me out, sipping Williams on the double. People play my bars are subtle, but they're blind to the diamond hidden underneath the rubble. I got my own struggles, but a hustle to get my life together like a puzzle. Let them mumble all they please, but the guns on my tongue will make them stumble to their knees. It's just the way I am, regardless of what they say I am. Underneath the street, driving down these roads with a vision in my brain and my headphones on. I don't care what they say, I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. Music flowing through my veins like some cocaine. The block with the stage, man, it's my domain. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. I keep my system up loud. Roll the window down, all you gonna see is clouds. Cruising in that gold truck, Cardinal decal on the back, blowing loud on 65 South. Roll dope like that. Drop a track, then I go right back to the mic and pull a night turner. Straight murder slaps with these raps back to back. But that's only if I jam the gap. Black and red Reeboks with the hat to match. Knock them off their feet, they don't stand a chance. Copycats with your line, with your lack of facts. I'm the Bills, Michael Bay, so action packed. Now tell me if you feel me, and throw your hands up to the ceiling. Let them haters tell you that I'm dreary. I'm a city's finest dairy underneath these street lights. Down these roads with a vision in my brain and my headphones on. I don't care what they say. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. Music flowing through my veins like some cocaine. The block with the stage, man, it's my domain. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights. I keep my eyes focused forward, never looking back, and I'm never cutting corners. A soldier that's sworn to abide by his orders and never afraid to face his deepest, darkest horrors. Target on the enemy, bitches in my pedigree, born a monster full of energy. Caught up in this reverie, harder than some memory. Bars within myself, my notebook is the penitentiary. 25 to life on my rap sheet. Even though my skin is white, I'm a black sheep. Let these haters kiss every bit of my ass cheeks. Underneath these street lights, you can never pass me. Fuck fame, I'ma do my thing, cause I'd never sell out for a bit of change. Labels asking me, I'd much rather live live a king underneath these streets. Riding down these roads with a vision in my brain and my headphones on. I don't care what they say, I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights, music flowing through my veins like some cocaine. The block with the stage, man, it's my domain. I live a king underneath street lights. Underneath street lights.
Hush Your Face is coming straight to your ears. A podcast network that's changing gears, bringing fresh funky pods with a fresh funky beat. A family of pods that are bringing the heat. There ain't no stopping us. Keep coming back to us, sick ass pods that'll make you hush. www Hush Your Face. www Hush Your Face. www hushyourface.com.